Convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester will today appear in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court virtually. At the same time, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and her co-accused will appear in the same court for their bail application hearing. Magudumana opted not to exercise her right to bail last week. This was all due to the development of some new information which prompted a postponement of her proceedings. The accused, including former G4S employees, are facing charges of corruption, fraud and defeating the ends of justice. This is for allegedly assisting Bester to fake his death in a prison fire. Let's now take you live to Linda Mnisi, who's outside the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court and joins us live now. Linda, very good morning to you. The day has come. I would imagine that Thabo Bester's virtual appearance has a lot to do with security concerns.
Well, security concerns indeed, Paul, because authorities were telling us previously that it is quite a task to move him from Pretoria coming to Mangaung. So that's why also in the beginning his matter was postponed to a later date. Authorities quite concerned about the logistics and what it takes and the cost that involves bringing him to court. You'll remember that he is currently the property of the Department of Correctional Services because he is a sentenced prisoner. So, his traveling would also have to mainly be catered for by the Department of Correctional Services, who'd have to make sure that he is brought to Mangaung, of course, for this matter. So essentially, authorities are deeming it quite fit for him to, appear virtually. You'll also remember that after his arrest in Tanzania, one of the options that authorities was considering at the time was that he appear virtually in this court, but they then later decided and changed that they would bring him here to make that a first appearance in person, and that's what we saw earlier on. So today that appearance expected to be virtually. You would have seen some people saying, on social media, reflecting on what a virtual appearance perhaps means, for Thabo Bester, or what it signals, or what it reminds them of. One of the accusations or the allegations that Thabo Bester is accused of is running a business from a prison cell. And you'll remember that event that he allegedly appeared virtually from a prison cell, pretending to, of course, be in New York. So this virtual appearance will indeed be interesting. It'll also be interesting, Paul, to see who will be representing him, given, of course, the issues around the back and forth regarding his legal representative. The last time, we checked, one of the legal representatives who represented Dr. Nandipha Magudumana in her bid to get the body that was found in cell 35 in Mangaung prison was said to be the one who will represent him. It's unclear at this point, if that is still the case, but we know that from the confirmation that we got from his previous lawyers, they had informed him of their withdrawal, rather.
Yeah, and of course we also get to get a sense of what happens in the bail application of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and the co-accused. What are some of the expectations there?
So you'll remember that last week Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's lawyers told the court that there has been new critical evidence that has emerged, and in light of that, they'd like to reserve their right to apply for bail. Of course, this is an exercise that they can do anytime during, this case. Even during trial, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana still has the right to apply for bail. But last week, they told the court that they would like to reserve that right pending, of course, the outcomes of the consultation for that particular evidence that has since emerged. It's unclear at this point, Paul, what that piece of evidence is and what it's likely to do for this case. Of course, this fuels speculation around what exactly Dr. Nandipha Magudumana is up to and what her defense is likely to be. You'll remember at this point, all the defense, lawyers and the accused in this matter don't really know or are not in possession of the dockets that are going to be used in the subsequent trial. So at this particular point, it's really a touch and go when it comes comes to what the defense brings into court. So it will be quite interesting to hear what they've decided on, after consultations with Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, and what their advice was to her on the way forward. Is bail still an option that they would like to take, given, of course, the fact that there is now evidence that is emerging that now links her in terms of what she could have done or her participation in this particular matter. You ask also about the bail application of the others. Sinoe Matshwara placed right at the center of facilitating Thabo Bester's escape. That's, of course, according to the witness of the state who was testifying in the bail application that was involving Sinoe Matshwara and the 4 others who opted to continue with their bail application. So we heard quite a number of explosive evidence. It might not necessarily be new, given, of course, the reports that have been made in various media platforms, but it was for the first time, really important, that this matter, or the facts in this matter, or the merits in this matter, were placed on record in this court. And we saw a state witness who, of course, cannot be named due to, of course, the court order that was issued by the magistrate in this court, detailing really the extent at which some of the people involved in this matter participated in, right from the moment that the vehicle that transported what we know now to be Katlego Bereng's body to the point where it was driven into court, leading, of course, to Thabo Bester leaving the prison dressed in prison uniform alongside Teboho Dipulu, who was a technician at the time in that facility. You'll also remember, Mpo, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's father, Zolile Sekeleni, will also be appearing in this court. We heard for the first time his alleged involvement in this matter, having been the one to have gone at OR Tambo International Airport, hired that vehicle that allegedly transported the body of Katlego Bereng into the Mangaung prison. He's said to have driven it all the way to, Bloemfontein, and then it was taken by Sinoe Matshwara, who went to go collect the body at a fake funeral, for lack of a better term, in phase 2 in Mangaung, where it was supposed to be buried but was not buried. In fact, what the witness told the court was that when they went to go exhume that coffin, what they found inside the coffin were 3 10 kg milli-meal bags that were buried there in the space of Katlego Bereng's body.
Interesting developments indeed. Certainly keeping a close eye there on what is to transpire at the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. Linda Mnisi giving us a sense of some of the expectations as convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester is set to appear virtually. Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and the other co-accused also appearing in court today.